What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we've got some Destiny 2 new stuff to talk about, so pretty big update here. So we have a full breakdown about Solstice of Heroes, the new rewards that we can obtain, the kind of lore around the event, a new event space that we'll visit in order to actually get some of the new gear, and we learn about the armor, which we'll actually have to upgrade in order to reach 400 power. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff, some new exotic rewards that we'll be getting as well, but we're also going to talk about new exotic catalysts, how you can get the Sturm Catalyst, raid modifiers, and a bunch of changes there. So another video with a lot of information to break down. If you guys do enjoy this one, a like below is super appreciated. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe and turn on those notifications if you do want to keep up to date with Destiny content. For now though, let's jump straight into it. So let's talk about Solstice of Heroes, new activities, content, gear, and how we'll get access to it. So the Solstice event begins on Tuesday, July 31st, and the event is held in the tower, and it allows inhabitants of the city to celebrate and thank Guardians for bravely defending them. Guardians will meditate on their journey through the Red War and take on additional challenges in those memories. They will marvel at the resurgence of the Traveler, as the elements themselves flare into existence during their adventures, and they'll do it all while humanity celebrates their past, present, and future. So Akora Ray is the tower's representative for Solstice of Heroes. She'll direct you to the center of the tower, where the city has erected the Statue of Heroes as the focal point for the event. The statue will track your moments of triumph progress and grant you the Solstice of Heroes event armor that you will begin upgrading. So once you visit the Statue of Heroes, you will receive an uncommon shattered armor set at power 240. On each armor piece, there will be a series of objectives that you need to complete to upgrade the armor. Once you have the completed objectives, return to the statue to upgrade to the next set. So once you upgrade the shattered set, you'll receive the rekindled set at 340 power, and this will come with a new list of objectives once again. Once you complete those objectives, your reward is the Resplendent armor set at 400 power. One group of final objectives to complete and you'll unlock the Masterwork version of the armor set, but they do say each Resplendent armor set offers the previous versions as ornaments, so you can pick and choose how each piece looks. On top of this armor will essentially have chroma on it as well that we'll be able to apply, so we've seen that in a few clips and stuff like that. It is supposed to be kind of memorial armor because it's the armor that we had at the beginning of the game. We wore the destroyed set at the very beginning, so it's really kind of recognizing that progression over time. And while of course these are essentially reskinned what we end up getting, I do think the armor is pretty cool looking. I'm especially excited to try it out with some of the chroma. On the subject of 400 power armor though, DMG did tweet and said, leading up to Forsaken, the only way to achieve 400 power is to earn and equip prestige raid layer weapons and the Solstice of Heroes armor set. You will not be able to infuse these trophies into existing gear. So any of the weapons or armor that you earn during this event will essentially only carry that power level on those pieces of gear. So for example, the only weapons you will have at 400 power will be raid weapons. You won't actually be able to cross infuse them into other things, but I am hearing some folks say that you can actually infuse these into exotics. We'll have to wait for exact confirmation on that. Pretty interesting decision. Of course, this is a fairly short period of time where this gear is really relevant, and I'd imagine for most people, even those who are gonna hit 400, it's gonna take a bit of a time, you know? But either way, I'd be curious to hear what you think about that, these being kind of locked with that power and it not being transferable to other stuff. Of course, 400 power weapons are currently dropping, but the only way to actually get them is to complete the new prestige raid layers for the Spire of Stars and the Eater of Worlds, and you have to complete the entire raid layer to get one 400 power weapon. And folks have actually begun to clear those raids now, but inside of Solstice of Heroes we'll get new kind of activity reworks, and these are called Redux Missions. One of the ways you'll upgrade your armor during the event is through these missions. Bungie say they've hand-selected 5 story missions and given them some slight alteration. Each mission can be accessed in the tower by finding its statue, and here are the 5 missions for the event. So we have Homecoming, Spark, Payback, 1AU, and then Chosen. Pretty interesting missions there. Of course, we've known that Black Spindle has been sitting in the database for quite some time, and it seems likely that it could drop with this update and with Solstice of Heroes. And you do have that kind of link to it being a daily story mission type thing, so maybe they'll do something there. Correct me if I'm wrong though, I'm not sure any of those are actually Hive related, which would make the most sense, but maybe something else will pop up. But then they talk about moments of triumph, and they say that the triumphs will be tracked to in-game bounties that are obtained at the Statue of Heroes. As you complete and turn in those bounties, bounties, you'll unlock rewards that can be redeemed at the statue. So we do actually have a ship right here. This is a new exotic ship, pretty cool looking thing. But there will also be the Solstice Engram available at Tess Everest, and you can earn 3 per account by completing the event milestone on each of your characters. No matter what activity you play in Destiny 2 Solstice of Heroes, you will receive 1 Solstice Engram in addition to the Bright Engram that you earn for leveling up. So that's definitely good. And as we can see, there is a bunch of stuff right here that you can actually earn. Some of those ghost shells actually look pretty cool, especially the one with the sun on it. And then you've got the one in the middle, which is a more classic model, which has been modified, and the very spherical blue one as well. But in terms of being somewhat different, I think they've actually done a really good job. I'd be relatively pleased to be wearing one of these ghosts. But we've also got those exotic ornaments too. The Jade Rabbit one is actually really cool. I think that's my favorite. If only the weapon would get a massive buff. But we also see some of the sparrows in action right here. One with these kind of holographs, a very bizarre looking one right here. And then, of course, new emotes as well. But they talk about the armor glows which come from the Solstice Engram, and these can be applied to any version of the Solstice of Heroes armor sets to provide Guardians with an enhanced look. Armor glows will be unlocked permanently like ornaments, and they shine brightest when your subclass element aligns with the element of the glow. So that's actually a pretty cool feature, but that is essentially how Solstice of Heroes is going to work, guys. Let me know down below what you think about that. I think they've actually set up some pretty cool sounding stuff right here. The fact that there is progression and upgrades to get as well is pretty interesting. And there is that brand new event space, so definitely pretty different. And at least on the surface, I think it's looking pretty good. But now to talk about some other stuff. I have actually missed the reset video today because there's so much other information to talk about. But they did actually add a Destiny 2 Forsaken tab inside of the game right here. Of course, it leads you to a pre-order screen, but it'll constantly remind us that the release of that DLC is going to be, you know, closer and closer. We've got new bounties in the game. So looking at the Vanguard right here, defeat multiple enemies with your super in a strike. Rewards include Vanguard Tactician rewards, legendary gear, and assorted shaders. And it's the same for many of these. You've got super kills in strikes once again, void kills in strikes, completing challenges in strikes, multi-kills without reloading and things like that. And then similar stuff for the Crucible, defeat other Guardians in the Crucible once again, Crucible rewards, legendary gear, and assorted shaders. Land precision final blows in the Crucible, and you need to get 5 of those. Land grenade final blows in Crucible. Land the final blow on a player who just defeated one of your teammates in the Crucible. And land arc final blows in the Crucible as well. It's really nice to see bounties back in the game. Of course, they're fairly basic right now. The reward systems are pretty basic too. Although I don't think they've necessarily done a bad job. You know, this is kind of bringing the system into the game. And inside of Forsaken, the rewards and the reasons to complete these should really improve. So it's cool to see that stuff. Let me know your thoughts on the new bounties. Of course, Prismatic Matrix has been taken away from Eververse right here. Just worth pointing that out again. You can see a bunch of the inventory for the week though if you want to pick any of that up. Of course, on top of this, inside of the game, Prestige raid layers are now live. These actually start out at power 330 and presumably they work up towards 385, I'd assume. We can also see some of the modifiers there as well. Something to mention though, of course, the Sturm Catalyst can now be obtained by actually killing enemies on Nessus. It is a random drop to pick up, but a few people have started getting them, so you just farm kind of general kills on Nessus, I suppose. And then you actually need to get Sturm and Drank kills to begin upgrading the weapon, but you can see that it gives a boost to range as well as handling right there. Not necessarily a super insane masterwork, but definitely something else to go after. There are some other interesting and unusual things that have come up as well. Some of the Ikelos weapon sounds have actually been changed a little bit, so if you've used these weapons before or heard them, you may notice some of the changes right here. Not sure if this is, you know, kind of audio stuff they might be working towards with the new weapon slot system or anything like that. But definitely curious nonetheless. Of course, on top of this though, inside of the raids, the Prestige raids, you can pick up a bunch of different catalysts. So the Sleeper Simulant Catalyst will actually come from Spire of Stars. It is a random drop at any encounter, and it will grant the weapon accelerated coils. You also have Telesto, which grants deeper pockets, and this one could be picked up in the Eater of Worlds on any encounter. The Acreus Catalyst will come from the original Leviathan, and this will actually grant improved reload speed with the deeper pockets perk. And then we can see those stats for Sturm Sturm right there, plus 20 range, plus 40 handling. But for now, that is pretty much going to summarize the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Lots of stuff to break down today for sure. I didn't quite expect this much information. We had the patch itself and then all of the Solstice stuff. And presumably we're going to get even more Forsaken news soon as well. So pretty busy times really. But let me know down below any of your thoughts on this stuff. If you have enjoyed the video, guys, a like is super appreciated. If you're new to the channel, like I said, be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see more Destiny 2 content. Also turn on those notifications if you don't want to miss any videos. That way you'll always be told when I post a new video. Well, assuming YouTube does its thing. But anyway, guys, whatever you get up to, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.